With a normal airline, you would need to drive to the airport or get an Uber, but with this one, you get a private chauffeur. Now, normally when you think of the best airlines in the world, you would think about something like Emirates, Qatar, or Singapore Airlines. But what if I told you that this one was better than them all? Well, today, I'm gonna be testing out Etihad and rating it based on these categories to see just how good it actually is. And spoiler alert, it may or may not have been the best business class I have ever flown. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, not only do you get a chauffeur service when you go with Etihad, but as you can see behind me, there are also some butlers waiting to take the luggage. I'll be honest, I have never seen that on any airline before. And guess what? This airport is also brand new, so I think it's time we head inside to check it out. Now, when I say this place is brand new, I meant it, because this airport is only a little over a year old, and if you're a fan of Mission Impossible, you may have seen it before. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to go and use the first class check-in since this area is even more exclusive. But when I got to the business class one, all I needed to do was select the amount of bags I was bringing, agree to having nothing dangerous, place my bag onto the conveyor belt, and then I was ready to go. So the check-in and bag drop went super well, and I didn't actually realize this, but over here is the normal check-in, and the business and first class check-in is completely separate. And one of the other things that I noticed is that there is a ton of space to just sit and lounge too. And they also have drinks, juice, tea, and coffee all around the check-in area, which is unbelievable. But now that I got the boarding pass, it's time to head through security and check out the business class lounge. But when it came to that, once again, I was in for a treat, because when flying business class, there was a dedicated security just for us. So when it comes to the check-in experience, I'm gonna have to give that 5 stars. I'll be completely honest, I think that was the fastest security experience I've ever had in my life. I was surprised enough that business class got its very own check-in, but it also got its very own security too. I knew the airport was going to be super busy at this time, so I decided to come about 2.5 hours before my flight, and I was through security in 5 minutes. The plus side of that is now we get even more time in the lounge, but the downside is there is a ton of time before the flight. So I think it's time we go and check that out. You know when a lounge has 2 floors, it's definitely gonna be good. Actually, scratch that. This lounge has 3 floors. Starting things off on the 2nd floor, there was a game room and a family room, which I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but inside was table football, air hockey, and 2 TVs with gaming consoles. But down the hall from here, I found some showers, cigars that you could buy before smoking it in the lounge, super futuristic air fresheners, but now it was time for level 3, which had this giant roof lounge and a bar. I swear, the more that I explore this lounge, the bigger it gets. It feels like this place is endless. Heading back down to the main floor, they had a spa, which I totally would have used if I had more time. But instead, I decided to go and grab myself a meal. When it came to the food, they had chefs preparing all of the dishes right in front of me, and there were so many things to choose from, I didn't even know where to start. There was rice, lamb, various Arab dishes, tons of different salads or spices, 10 different desserts that looked unreal, cheeses and fresh fruits, but my personal favorite had to be the freshly made brownie. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that on every piece of cutlery was the Etihad logo. You know what? I'm just gonna straight up say it. This is the best business class lounge I have ever been to, hands down. Obviously, I haven't flown every business class in the entire world, but I've done about 15 or 20 of them, and this one is just way better than everything else. I don't know if that's just because this airport is brand new. I think it's only about a year old, but the fact that this lounge has 3 floors, it has a game room, a spa, and everything else is just mind-blowing. And the wine is also delicious. This place gets a solid 10 from me. Now, making my way back through the airport, I passed by pretty much every designer store you could possibly think of, because after all, this is Abu Dhabi. But now my flight's actually supposed to board in like 5 minutes, but before then, I wanted to read you guys some of the reviews about Etihad Business Class, just so we know what we're in for. Amazing flight experience. Their business class lounge is world class. Clean cabin, amazing entertainment, good in-flight meals, and friendly cabin crew. 5 stars. Very satisfied and will recommend it to all of my friends. Love the lounge and amenities are incredible. 4.5 stars. This was my first ever flight with Etihad. Love the comfortable seating, ample legroom, free Wi-Fi, friendly and attentive crew, and delicious food. Also 5 stars. Now obviously, since they're one of the best business classes in the world, the reviews were going to be pretty solid. But now obviously those are just the reviews, and the flight itself can be completely different. So I think it's time to head to the gate and find out for ourselves. Hi there.
Hello.
There you go. Thank you. It's time to see what Etihad Business Class is all about. Hi there.
How are you, Mr. Eric?
Good, how are you?
Very good. You'll be on the other side, turn right.
Awesome. Just gonna scooch by. Making my way through the business class cabin, soon enough I made it to 14K. And as you can see, this seat looked unbelievable.
Email for your lounge. There you go.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Much appreciated. So I'll be honest, I think I've been on the plane for maybe a minute and I already have a glass of champagne in my hand. There is no business class I've ever flown where I've gotten champagne that quick. It's absolutely delicious. But now checking out the seat itself, I got this massive comforter which was super comfy. The butt cushion was solid, the backrest was well padded, and the headrest was also very soft too. And on top of that, to make things even better, there's also this pillow which is super soft and super comfy. And since this flight's gonna be 15 hours, this is much appreciated. So when it comes to the seat category, it looks like we're gonna need to give that 5 stars. But now there is still so much more to check out. For example, there is this massive TV in front of me. There's also a dinner menu which is a la carte, meaning I could order at any time that I want, and those are just a few things because there is so much more that we need to explore. So let's get started. Starting things off with the legroom, there was an insane amount, to the point where I could fully stretch out, and inside the leg cubby was the bedding for later in this flight, and also a leg rest for those who are super tall. Now with this seat, I also got 2 entire windows all to myself, which is always nice. Wireless charging for my phone, which is super bougie, a small container for storing any personal items, a reading lamp in case I was gonna read, another cubby to store items, the safety pamphlet which we won't be needing since this isn't a Boeing, and also this water bottle in the seat armrest, just in case I got thirsty. Now at this point, I should probably address the elephant in the room. I'm sure you've probably noticed, but I'm talking very quiet, and that's because this is going to be a red-eye flight. Currently it is 2:06 in the morning, so a lot of people are already sleeping, they're kind of winding down, so I don't want to disturb them by talking too loud. On top of that, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a 15-hour flight in complete darkness. The plan that I've come up with is once we're in the air, I'm going to order the food as fast as possible to get the meal done. After that, I'm going to change into my pajamas, check out the amenities kit, and then get some sleep. And then once I wake up, I'm going to check out all of the other things that are still going to be in store for me on this flight, because 15 hours is a very long time. But soon enough, we began pushing back from the gate to get this journey started. For today's 15-hour flight, I am headed all the way from Abu Dhabi across the world to Toronto, and soon enough, it was time for takeoff. Now before taking off, the flight attendant came around and asked me when I wanted my meal, so I told her pretty much right after takeoff. Now I did mention it's a la carte, so technically I could have had my dinner at any time that I wanted. Theoretically I could have had it like 3 or 4 hours from now, but I really need to get some sleep on this flight. But before I do get my food, first we need to check out the entertainment, go through the menu, and best of all, we need to change into our jammies. It's jammy time. It's jammy time. Now first things first, since the food was going to be coming, I needed to take out the massive tray table before checking out all of the different food options for this flight. Opening things up, there was an entire page for wine with 3 options for red and 3 for white, all from different regions of the world, along with fortified and dessert wine too. Besides that, there was also an entire list of spirits, cocktails, beers, and a ton of other beverages. But now, how about the food? Well, under the all-day menu, there was cereal, a yogurt dish with fruit, hazelnut pastry crown, steak sandwich, omelet, assorted samosa, and other goodies. For the dinner starters, there was Arabic meze, burrata, and soup. The mains had short ribs, sea bass, chicken, and paneer kofta. But for dessert, there was chocolate fondue, blueberry cake, fresh fruit, or ice cream. But now, how about that entertainment system? Well, right off the bat, the screen was absolutely massive and high quality, but checking out the movies, there were plenty of options, and the same could be said for the TV shows too. Along with this, there was also a section for listening to music, an in-flight map, which is always fun to mess around with, radio in case you were a boomer, and also games. So obviously I had to play Uno, but I ended up losing to the computer. So I can see the crew coming around with the food, but before they serve me, I wanted to show you guys the craziest part of this seat, and that's because there is a freaking door. And that means I have 360 degrees of complete privacy. That means this isn't just a seat, it is basically a room in the sky, and that is insane to think about. for the appetizer, I decided to go with the Arabic meze, and I don't fully know what that is. I'm pretty sure it's a variety of food, but again, not 100% sure. On this plate, we have some bread, some salad, some pink thing, which looks interesting. I'm most excited to try that. On this plate, we got some bread and also some pita, and I think there's hummus. I could be wrong on that. And then finally over here, we have some salad and also white wine. So let's get started. And I almost forgot to mention, they also give you metal cutlery too, which is awesome. Up first, this pink thing. Not sure what it is, but it is definitely some sort of a dip. That is really good. Next up, the mini salad thing. It looks pretty solid. And it tastes really good too. Time for the mini bun. Super warm, a little bit of cream on the inside. Overall, solid 9 out of 10. And last but not least, the main salad. Now at this point, my camera decided not to focus, but the salad ended up being pretty solid. Then I got the main short ribs, which was unbelievable. And finally, I got my ice cream, but they also gave me an entire cake with my face on it. I think I have some explaining to do. So the dessert that I ordered was the ice cream. And I swear to God, I had no idea they were gonna do this, but they also gave me an entire cake. And to be completely clear, Etihad is not paying me to make this video. There's no official partnership or anything like that. But when I was in Dubai, I was out here for a conference where I met someone named Daisy who works at Etihad. I casually mentioned that I was going to be flying on them on the way home, and she asked me for my booking reference, and I guess this was her gift to me. So Daisy, if you're watching this video, thank you so much. Now there was absolutely no chance that I was going to be able to finish this entire cake myself, but obviously I needed to try a piece before bringing the rest home. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. It's chocolate with cherry, and then I think there's vanilla and some other things. Overall, absolutely unreal, so thank you again, Daisy. My mind is actually blown right now. I can't believe this is happening. And now for the ice cream. Cheers. That is unbelievable. And overall, the entire meal service just gets a solid 10 out of 10. But now at this point, it is like 4:53 in the morning. I am officially in a food coma, so before I go to bed, I think it's time we check out the amenities kit. I feel like a zombie right now. I need to sleep. Up first, we've got some earplugs. We've got an eye mask, which I will definitely be using. Up next, we've got some hand lotion, which is always nice. There's a toothbrush and toothpaste for brushing my teeth. And last but not least, we've got some facial mist, which is very misty. Okay, it's time to get ready for bed. It's teeth brushing time. It's teeth brushing time. It's teeth brushing time. And while I was in the bathroom, I decided to check it out some more since it was a business class bathroom. And things felt pretty high end with tons of headroom. And they also had some hand lotion with the soap. Ooh, fancy. But to make things even better, when I finally got back to my seat, it was already made into a bed for me. So I decided to KO for the next few hours. And when I woke up, it was time for breakfast. Now for breakfast, I decided to order 3 things, but up first is the steak sandwich. This thing looks unreal, smells unreal, and hopefully it tastes unreal. But there's only one way to find out. Oh my God. The steak is super juicy, the cheese is melted, and there's almost this like caramelized sauce, which makes it even better. Along with the sandwich, there's also chips, which are always delicious. And as for the drinks, instead of getting a normal orange juice, I decided to get something called an orange sparkler, which I think has orange soda, lemonade, and something else. But it is very tasty too. And that isn't the only thing I decided to order, because it was business class, so I had to go all out, and I decided to order round 2 since I was still hungry. Now for the second round of breakfast, I decided to get a platter of fresh fruit, and then this over here is the hazelnut pastry crown. Apparently there's some strawberry, orange zest, vanilla ice cream, and something else that I can't pronounce, but I assume that's like the bread thingy on the bottom. Overall, everything looks unreal, but let's see if it tastes unreal. So let's dig right in. Cheers. Oh my God. Let me get some whipped cream and ice cream on there. Oh, it's a 10. It's so good. Whatever the pastry is on the bottom, it is super warm. It has a little bit of like a caramel cinnamon glaze on it. The ice cream, the whipped cream, the orange zest, the strawberries, it makes it perfect. Literally a 10. And as for the fruit, super fresh and super tasty. Also a solid 10. But at this point, there's only about 25 minutes left in the flight, so I thought I would share my final thoughts. Based on the criteria I set out at the start of this video, the check-in process gets a solid 5 stars. The business class lounge was easily the best I had ever been to, so that's another 5 stars there. The seat was super comfy, it had tons of privacy with the door, and it also felt super modern, so another 5 stars. All of the different food that I tried was unbelievable, and all of the different amenities around the plane were also incredible too. So overall, I think I'm gonna have to give Etihad a perfect score. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to watch this one next and also subscribe.